Hey guys, so welcome back to Saareeb Yummy. So today, as you can see, we're gonna make some yummy Besan Ghee Barfi, and it's best for Diwali foods or Eid or any kind of celebration, and you can use it. So what I've got is some semolina powder, and I'm gonna refine some besan, which is gram flour. So we're gonna use 1.5 cup of besan, 1.5 cup of semolina. And you can use refined semolina, so it can be white or yellow. I'm using the yellowish one. And then I am going to use some sugar powder, which is either icing sugar, which can be refined. I don't want to use the actual granulated sugar just because it tastes better, and also your mithai will be more thicker with the refined icing sugar. So here in the bowls I've got semolina, refined sugar and besan, so all 1.5 cup each, and then I have got 1.5 cup of ghee, which I am going to melt. So as you can see, you can use pure desi ghee or you can use oil. With ghee it brings out more texture, and also it leaves that creamy taste in your mithai as well. So what you're going to need is a karai or a deep pan, and you're going to put 1.5 cup of ghee and let that melt on low heat. So like I said, this mithai is really simple to make. It's nothing rocket science. I know when you think of mithai or barfi you might think, oh my god, how am I going to do that? But it is actually very simple. And for this we're not going to use no chashni, so you're not going to need no sugar syrup. It is all done without the sugar syrup, and I will tell you how exactly. As you watch this video you're going to know exactly how to make these barfi, and you can serve it to your family and friends and impress them with your talent. So here the ghee is melting, and it's got a really nice aroma of the melting ghee already in the kitchen, which I'm absolutely loving. Once the ghee is fully melted, we're going to add the 1.5 cup of besan, the gram flour, and making sure that your arms are not hurting for when you make this barfi, because you are going to need a lot of mixing to do, a lot of mixing to do, because if you stop mixing, then it's likely that the flour that you make is going to get either very sticky, or it's not going to come to a stage where it's going to be perfect to actually build up the barfi itself. So I've added up the 1.5 cup of besan, and then as you can see it's getting a bit lumpy. For this, what we're going to do is keep on stirring it. So throughout the process you need to make sure that you're stirring this. So then after 5-10 minutes of stirring, it's going to look like this. So it's got a really nice golden brown colour, and it's already bringing out the beautiful aroma in the kitchen as well. It already smells like a mithai shop in the kitchen. It smells amazing. I could just eat this right now as it is, but we're not going to do that. So what we've done is we've added up the 1.5 cup of semolina powder. So that has already thickened the process. So as you can see, it's not sticking to the pan because you keep on stirring it. As long as you keep stirring it, nothing's going to stick. I'm also going to add in a little bit of orange food colouring to give it that bit of a pop for the colour. You don't have to if you don't want to, you can just keep it golden, but I'm a bit extra and I like to give it a little bit of that pop. So then once you've done that, you can keep mixing, and once you've kept mixing, after around 10 to 15 minutes we're going to add in the refined sugar. So as you can see now, nothing's jamming to the pot, and it is coming off the spoon nicely as well. Nothing's coming off the spoon. So how to test this is grab some of the dough in the spoon and try to tip it out. So if it sticks, that means that it needs a bit more stirring. You might need to add a bit more gram flour if it is too thin, and if it just drops off, then you're good to go ahead and add in some black cardamom or green cardamom. It's entirely your choice. I'm using green cardamom powder, and I've used 2 tablespoons of that. I've done it directly from the packet because I know my measurements, but if you don't, just grab a tablespoon and it's 2 tablespoons. Once you've added that in, it's stir, 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 and it's gonna really smell nice in the kitchen. It smells amazing and so yummy in this kitchen right now. So in goes the refined sugar, or if you don't call it refined sugar, some people call it sugar powder or icing sugar. So just in order to refine any kind of icing sugar, you just basically sieve it through into a bowl so there's no lumps lying around. So once we've added that in, we're going to keep mixing inside the texture. Now you can see it's becoming all crumbly and nice. So at this point it's become a bit too crumbly for me, so I've added in 1 more tablespoon of ghee and a drop of orange colouring as well, a liquid form though. So you can either use a liquid or a powder. I use a powder first, but then I've now used a liquid. Once the texture goes nice and liquidy, not too liquidy, it has to have a bit of thickness, we're going to lay it out in a plate or a tray. So I've used a standard baking tray. I've laid it out and I've basically put in chopped almonds, and I'm putting on some dry rose as well, just to give it that fancy look. Now if you can see, it looks all nice and deliciously orange. I've also added on some saffron. Before adding the cut marks, leave the Barfi in the fridge for at least 2 hours. Then what I've done is I've took it out of the fridge and I've added some cut marks. So once it fully settles, it's easier to bring the Barfi out of the tray. So as you can see, it's not fully settled just now, but it's worth putting in the cut marks early. Just because if you put in the cut marks later and the Barfi has settled, when you try taking it out, you're going to struggle, otherwise it's going to break right through. So we don't want that, we want it to come out nice and neat. So that's why we're going to leave it an hour and a half in the fridge or somewhere cool, and we're going to add cut marks. Now once you've added cut marks, you're going to put it back into the fridge for around 3 to 4 hours so it's fully settled in. And you can also add in pistachios if you want, it is optional. I've just added almonds, saffron and rose. So here's our final product. Here is our Barfi, and they taste absolutely gorgeous, and if you can see, none of them are breaking either. So if you like this video, make sure to share, subscribe and like. Drop your comments in the comments box. If you do try this recipe at home, please do let me know on how it turns out, because I can guarantee you it will be absolutely yummy. And thank you for watching this video. Bye bye.